It is Sunday, January the 30th, 2022. Boo, boo, boo. Welcome to the Zodiac Chatline. I am your host, Tanae, and I have my co-host, Cassie, with me as always. Hey, girl.
Hey, how you doing?
Girl, do you want to know how I'm doing? Do you want to know?
I do. The people want to know. Tell us how you're doing.
Y'all, I am doing so well because what? Tomorrow's my birthday!
Boo, boo, boo.
Woo, woo, woo! I'm going to be
an Aquarius
67. It's just cocoa butter and coconut. So, yes, I will. Listen, black don't crack. We all know it. Thank you, Kaylee. We all know it. I love it. I'm here. I'm here to love on myself, celebrate myself. After these past couple years, you know, last year was still some bullshit, and 2020 was all of the bullshit. So I am happy to go into 2022 celebrating my birthday. Right before the new moon in Aquarius. So I am feeling amazing. I got some cool gifts already. So shout out to everybody that's given me gifts. I'm here in receiving mode, even though I'm a masculine sign. Bitch, give it all to me. So I'm here. So thank you to everyone. I did receive a lovely gift from Cassie. She knows me oh so well, so I appreciate them. Tarot cards is always a plus for me. Anybody? I'm just saying, tarot cards you can never lose. So yeah, that's how I'm feeling. How are you doing?
I'm great. Feeling good about Venus going direct.
Yes.
Got my hair done.
Yes,
Feeling
she did,
very
girl.
Cute. Third shout out to Kaylee for the
Yes,
night.
Thank you, girl. Get that
And when
hair.
I tell you, folks, part of the reason Tanae and I do this, part of the thing we love about astrology is the synchronicity, you know, the way you end up just in conversation with the right people at the right time sometimes. And I came to my hair appointment with my notebook ready to break down a chart and asked my stylist if she'd mind if I did some work. No, not at all. Hey, so you're into astrology. Not only did she know her big three, she could name her mom and sister's entire chart. When I tell you, this was the universe like lining up the right people to meet.
Kaylee, our email is the Zodiac Chatline at gmail.com. I repeat, the Zodiac Chatline at gmail.com. Girl, we would love to have you on the show. You sound like the kind of guest we need.
To that point, anybody out there who knows nothing, everything, middle of the things of astrology, you have a question you want us to talk about ever, anytime, drop it in the chat. Put it in our DMs. Send us an email. Tweet us. Tick and or talk us. Ooh. We can do all the things. Like, let us know. Yeah. Ask us a question. We want to answer it. But yes, I'm also feeling great about the new moon in Aquarius. So let's talk about the new moon in Aquarius for everybody watching.
Well, for me, I love this new moon. As always, as I had stated before about new moons, when it is in your sun sign, it is an extra boost of what do you want to manifest for the year? What are your intentions for the year? Because it is in your sun sign, so it gives you that type of energy. I like the energy in general of Aquarius coming out of Capricorn season. It's time to get weird, quirky, strange, never fit in, because who wants to fit in? And, you know, Aquarians are big, don't really care what other people think about them. And this is the time for all of us to do that. Like, really, you have to care about what you think about you first. And a thing about an Aquarius and with this new moon is that self-validation supersedes any other outside validation. And so it's good to like be the inventor that you want to be, like find something really weird and out there that you want to kind of go after. So
hell yeah. This is a much more social moon than the Capricorn new moon. We've been saying since the winter solstice, keep it in, plan and stay steady and take small steps. Aquarius new moon asks you to chat to people. So you meet somebody, they're doing something interesting, talk to them about it. You have somebody whose work you admire, reach out. see if you can find what books they've read, you know,
Oh,
like
that's a
go
good
and do
one.
some research about how they got to be who they are, and expand and broaden the social connections you're willing to make in pursuit of your best self.
Yeah.
And
And
as
find
you,
a community. I was gonna say, and also find a community. Like
mm-hmm,
really, that's how Cassie said, like seek out people that are doing what you want to do. Like find your community. This is a really good time in Aquarius season because Aquarius is all about groups and community and like how can the collective be okay, you know?
mm-hmm. And we talked about in our pre-call, this moon in Aquarius, new moon in Aquarius is conjunct Saturn in Aquarius as well. And so you may find that your Aquarius new moon intentions reflect somewhat of your Capricorn new moon intentions, because there's probably work, discipline, rule setting, restrictive kind of, when I say restrictive, disciplined maybe would be a
Mm-hmm.
better term, energy associated
Yeah.
with this new moon in Aquarius. So, yeah, if you had you've been reflecting on your career and working toward professional goals, how do those align with your higher needs? You know,
Yeah.
your more philosophical, like humanitarian mind. And if they don't,
Yeah.
how does
You're
that make you
probably
feel?
yeah.
What can you do to feed that need too?
Yeah.
So,
And Mercury is still retrograde for just a little bit longer. So definitely just take your time with your intentions. You don't have to reread them, you know, before you decide that that's really like where you're at. But I definitely like the with it having the conjunct Saturn, just really having S in Aquarius for discipline. That's funny. But since Saturn was Aquarius's um, former ruling planet, it's actually a little bit it's helpful and beneficial to that. So
mm-hmm.
I am here for this weird, quirky, unique set time, girl. Because
Yeah. And you know what's extra crazy about this new moon? So for everyone watching, the new moon happens at 12:46 a.m. February 1st. So for most of us who are awake at that hour, it's because we're up from January 31st. Some people's birthday. Maybe those people are celebrating the new moon as if it is happening on their birthday. I'm just speculating. But
duh.
anyway, but for people living on the Pacific coast, it does.
Hmm.
So I just thought that was like a very Aquarius thing. Like, oh, the new moon, could it be January 31st or February 1st? You don't even know. Like, what does it even mean?
What do you want it to be? Is there really a new moon? You know, are we
Yeah.
just saying that? Yeah, no, I'm all for it. I would say, for sure, the other good part about this new moon is that it starts the Chinese New Year. Um,
Yeah.
and it is the year of the Yang water tiger. I'm not really well versed on Chinese astrology, but that sounds like some pretty dope energy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
water, tiger, yang. You know, it seems like it's all gonna work itself out. And the sun, the moon, and Saturn are all in Aquarius now for this new moon. So that just gives like, how do you feel? Where are you at? And then what are you really looking forward to disciplining yourself and like moving forward with?
Mm-hmm.
So, like you said, it's fun. Let's get fun. Let's have some fun because it's like, you know, nobody wants to be a goat anymore.
And we're coming into a very special time. Once Mercury goes direct on February 4th, 3rd.
Mm-hmm. Third-ish, fourth-ish, you know, it's all about
Okay,
the same.
same thing, late,
It's
whatever.
Aquarius.
Right. Um, the all of the planets will be moving forward for about 2.5 months into April
Yeah,
anyway.
we're almost like through the end of April, pretty much.
So this is a time to really step out and do something and try something. And the things you've been thinking about doing and working toward, it's
It's
never going
time
to
to
be
go.
perfect, but
No,
it's
but
time to
it's yeah.
go.
If it's not necessarily perfect, but this is the most ideal time for you to just really push forward, expand, explore. You know, like Cassie said, seek out other people, be more social. This is the time to do it. Go on dates, date somebody that you wouldn't be your type or
Mm-hmm.
whatever like that, because you know Koreans don't have types.
You're always thinking outside the box. Think way outside your box.
Yeah.
Think bigger, better, more unusual.
Get
Yeah, like
uncomfortable, like,
but in a good way.
Right. We're just like, I wouldn't normally try this, but it's Aquarius season.
Yeah.
I'm going to try it. Who knows what's going to happen? And the great thing about Aquarius season is it's unpredictable. It doesn't have to always be in a bad way.
Yeah. I also was reading about, so I'm not a pagan, like I don't celebrate neo-pagan holidays, but I'm always interested in their correspondences and stuff. And so the new moon is happening on Imbolc, which I guess is like a midwinter observation. And I was reading about the associations of Imbolc, and it's thought of as a really feminine holiday. It's associated with when the milk comes into the domesticated, like farm animals. And it's thought of as being a time for divination and channeling like psychic power. So with this new moon, ask your ancestors to give you a dream. You know what I mean? If you're feeling like, I feel very fortunate to have goals that I'm actively pursuing, but it hasn't always been that way in my life. Like there have been many times in my life where I didn't have a particular goal I was working on. And if you're in a position that you're feeling like that, look for synchronicity, be open to that popping up. And I think you might be surprised what you find.
I think being more open and more present. And I think that that's a really big thing. It's really easy because the world we live in, honestly, is very much technology based and it's very much screen based. And a lot of times during these times of year, it's really good to like kind of get in touch with physical self, like touching things. And that's why I really appreciate the pagan holidays, because they definitely nurture the earth and the elements and the forest. And, we are literally in the middle of winter. And so spring is just around the corner. So this is a good halfway point. And I think it's a really good halfway point to assess where you are. Since maybe even the winter solstice, we're about a month away. And that was a lot of introspective time. We had Venus retrograde, we had Uranus retrograde, we had Mercury, so a lot of introspection happened between that. And now we are able to move forward and just
apply what you learned in the real world.
Hello. Say it loud, say it proud. So you ready?
Yes. So first I would like to say that all of us in the audience, and Tanae and I certainly are sending positive vibes to our would-be guest, Haley, who is not going to be our guest tonight because she is not feeling well. So positive vibes to her. We look forward to talking to you soon. And so we're pivoting.
Because it's Mercury retrograde.
It's Mercury retrograde, and this is show business, baby. So we got to have a backup plan. And so we're bringing in Coral.
The best backup plan.
Fire starter, sweet angel, Sagittarius baby, producer, coven mate.
Who completes this trifecta.
That's right. Our just, witchy thing we got going on here.
Yes. So we are going to have her on. Yes! Hey!
I was just listening. I was listening to the shout out, the fire, the whatever, and then the thing went, and I was like, oh, I can't hear it anymore.
Hello. How are you? Welcome.
Hello,
Yes.
hello.
How are you?
Welcome. Yes.
Okay.
How are you?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
We're excited. We've
Amazing. We're
It's
so
Sunday.
excited to talk about your chart. So,
Yeah.
All right.
Why am I like this?
Because we're all like this.
All right. So Coral is our producer. And so obviously she is involved with this project intimately and is a Sagittarius queen, Sagittarius Sun, Sagittarius Rising, Aquarius Moon.
Yes.
And
love it, I hate it.
Coral, can you tell us about how our friendship has changed your interest in astrology, and what are you doing now around learning about astrology?
Yeah, well, I mean, I've always been, somewhat interested in it, and, just throughout our, decade or two long friendship.
Okay.
6
Decade.
It's 10.
We're not talking about our past lives. We're talking about right now. So go ahead.
Yeah, right now. Talking with you and listening to the two of you banter back and forth about it, and honestly, I think becoming a mom, like I really wanted to figure out why I am the way I am. Maybe get some introspection, on how to navigate myself better.
Spoken like a true Sag. How do I find higher meaning?
Pretty much.
So
Yeah.
what have you found out
In a
so
nutshell.
far?
That like you said, I'm very Sagittarius-ish. Lots of that. I don't think that's always a bad thing, though. I think it's very, even though it makes me very charged sometimes.
That's a great word.
That's a nice word. Charged.
For everybody else that knows you.
I'm also just kind of very go with it, like I'm not, it doesn't have to be my way. It doesn't have to be the way I envisioned it. If that makes sense.
God bless your
Even
immutable
though my
energy.
way is the best way.
God bless your immutable energy, girl.
That's all I'm saying.
Right.
So, yeah.
Interesting.
Did that answer the question? I don't
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
This is just a conversation.
I think that's very interesting that motherhood brought you the desire to learn more about astrology, because it like at its best you're figuring out patterns that
Right.
help explain your pros and cons, and if you can't help something or fix something if you're not aware of it.
Exactly.
And sometimes it's
Knowledge
just seeing
is
yourself
power.
reflected back to you that's like, oh, I do that. And certainly having kids and trying to figure out how they aren't just little carbon copies of you.
Absolutely
and every kid
not.
is so different, and trying to figure out how they reconcile the world and how do you meet them where they need you to be. I find astrology can be enormously helpful in that. Certainly knowing yourself is very helpful in that, because you get tested by every trigger you've ever had becoming a mother.
Triggers you didn't know you had.
That's what motherhood does. It makes sure that it's reminded.
That annoys me now. Like, what?
Okay, so all right, Tanae, I'll let you start.
I have a question for you.
Go for it.
This is at looking at your chart. What does the word filter mean to you?
A what?
The word filter. What does
Change
that
it.
word mean?
You change it every month in your air conditioner.
Really?
Did I win?
Really? In terms of your commute, you know what I mean.
In terms of my communication, I have to not be heated, I guess. It's hard filtering my passion and my emotion out of my communication is very hard for me. It's not even about like do I say tits on toast at Thanksgiving? It's like it's more the like I don't really have an aggression filter. That's something I really have had to work on, becoming an adult, becoming a mom, so yeah, that.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, the Sun and Mercury
You tell me
in
what
Sagittarius, right? And with the Sagittarius rising too, that of course means your Sun placement is in your first house, right there. That Sagittarius energy is front and center, and it is
on display.
Not known to like. The thing about Sag is that they're generally very positive, so it's not usually a disruptive energy. Like in general, they're
Right.
ruled by the planet Jupiter, so they can be blunt. And I mean, they can definitely their foot can permanently stay in their mouth, like depending on the situation.
Right.
But they're usually there to have a good time, to
Yeah.
try
Yeah.
and
It's just the
liven up the
yeah.
vibe. But that can come with some occasional outbursts, I guess.
And it's usually just, you know, a Sag just telling it like it is, you know, no lube. Just straight shooter, you know what I mean? Like, and then with the Aquarius moon, you know, not really known for filters. So I would guess that, like you said, your charged emotions and learning how to communicate them has been a challenge of growth for you. When did you recognize that you or felt comfortable with your sense of self?
I've actually really always had a pretty good sense of self, like, and of other people. And like, even as a child, you know, my parents would bring other adults into our lives, and I would just be like, bad vibes, bad feelings. Like, I didn't even know what vibes were, but I've always had a very good sense of who I am, who I want to be, who I want to be around. It got a little fuzzy in the 20s, in my 20s, but
Listen,
Blame it on the booze, man.
yeah. I
gross.
mean, the
Yeah.
aughts were hard for all of
Yeah,
us.
in
girl.
20s it's supposed to get fuzzy in your 20s because that's for figuring fucking shit up and figuring it out.
Fucking it up, figuring it out.
But for you to have all that first house energy had to have brought you in here with some sort of sense of self, because that is like the most important thing to you. And as Cassie stated, your sun and your Mercury and your rising are all in Sagittarius. You breathe Archer air. You breathe Archer fire, right? I mean, that's what it is. Like, you are a Sag, is a Sag, is a Sag, is a Sag.
Yeah.
I thought it was very interesting, and I wondered, you know, the extent to which you identify with this. So your sun is conjunct the planet Neptune, and in Chani Nicholas's excellent astrology book, You Were Born for This. Anybody in the crowd who's a
Yeah.
you know, astrology, even somewhat aficionado, it's
Yeah.
such a quick, happy, cool read. Check it out. But she had an interesting take on that particular aspect. And it was like, if the sun and Neptune are within 10 degrees of each other in your chart, it can create an over-identification with others and difficulty around personal boundaries. And yours are 2 degrees apart. And I thought it was interesting because it doesn't necessarily strike me as that's a struggle for you, but I wondered if maybe it had been at some point in your life, or if it's something that you know, I don't know, because the other interpretation of that, which I think, and we can talk about this more because this is reflected back in multiple aspects of your chart, is that this leads to a very close identification of yourself and your spirituality. And you have, especially on our pre-call, so we all produce this show. So we have a call every week before the episode. And this week's episode's like, well, we can't talk to you too much, Coral, because we don't want to dive into your chart on the call. But Coral brought up, and you know, it's going to be backwards here because of you, but you can see where all the planets in Coral's chart are on one side. Every single planet. These other things over here, this is the North Node, which we'll talk about, but these are like much lesser influences that we don't even really discuss. Everything is important is over here. And it's all in the last quadrant of the end of the zodiac. So that's the era where we're getting spiritual, right? It starts with Capricorn energy, which maybe seems counterintuitive, but when you think about like Capricorn as the pinnacle of what you're going to achieve in a material plane, it makes sense that it kicks off that spiritual part of our personality. And then, but then you also have some energy in the first and second house, which is very much our sense of like, I am a person in the world. Before you've even evolved enough, you haven't gone through emotional.
I came out this way.
Intellectual. Yeah, you like
really
came
did.
out with a spirituality attached to your sense of self. And like you said, being a young kid and actually feeling empowered to go with your own vibes, that's not common unless it's
not.
Unless it's bred into
Especially
you.
in the 80s. Like,
Right. It was like, no, Uncle Jerry's fine. You just can't wear shorts around him. Like, what?
What? And you want me to sit on his lap for a picture? I don't think so.
No,
Yeah, right.
No.
No,
My body, my
no.
boundaries.
Yeah. But yeah, so I feel very fortunate. I grew up with a mom and grandmothers who taught me to trust my instincts, but I know a lot of, especially women, but I think definitely men too, are never given that as a particular pillar of life to stand by. So to have that innate in you, I think it makes sense. You have so much energy in the 10th, 11th, and 12th houses, just like really pointing you in this direction
like
of a higher spiritual self.
All of the outer planets, and then like the planets that, you know, are close are like first house, you know, like here. So I do think that it's pretty amazing that you have your 10th house has Libra in it, and that's exalted in Saturn. And Saturn, you know, usually is a lot of hard work, but to be able to have it in such a nice, pretty, balanced, soft, you know, Libra energy kind of gives you the benefit of like relationships and diplomacy that allows it not to be so hard. Like your karma isn't that hard, you know? And you don't have any, we talked about this also, you don't have any retrograde planets in your chart, which is not, I don't know if it's common or uncommon. We've only seen it in one other chart that we've done. But to have absolutely zero retrograde planets, we talked about earlier how all the planets are going to be going forward for a little bit. So you realize it's not usually for a very long period of time that there are no retrograde planets. And so that gives this lucky Sagittarius more luck.
A little extra luck.
You know, like less of a struggle. So it's nice. I mean, and Jupiter is also in your 10th house with Libra. So you have lucky karma. I mean, it's nice, you know.
Yay,
you know.
So on that point, a little bit, but shifting gears, I have a question.
Yes.
How do you feel in the spotlight?
Oh, that's perfect transition, girl.
I don't like it, but I'm good at it, so I do it if I'm getting paid. Does that make sense?
Mars and Capricorn, continue.
It's I like
second house.
I mean, even I told you guys at the call ahead of this, I was kind of getting a little in the tum, before the show, just because I was going to be on it, and it's okay for me. I was bartender and restaurant manager for a bazillion years, at least 500 decades.
It felt like it. Especially in that joint.
Right. And so you have to be able to present, you have to be able to speak, you have to be able to captivate in a way. So like, I'm okay with it, but I don't like it. It's not my goal.
Well,
sure.
My goal, do you know what I mean?
I do. Except that the problem for you then is in terms of astrology is your North Node in Leo, because that suggests that very much the goal is for you to be in the spotlight. But that means, and your moon in Aquarius emphasizes this as well, because that means your South Node is in Aquarius, and you also have the moon in Aquarius, which means you're just very comfortable in the Aquarius energy of, it's not me, it's the group, man. It's not me, it's the group, man. And like, that's great. That's great. We need all of it. We need every energy of the zodiac to exist as a society, right? But like, some of us are destined for different things, and some of us need to learn different lessons around what we're capable of, what's possible for us, and what's like going to spiritually fulfill us. And You may have to take
Yeah. You
Okay,
really,
mom.
you really
I sound like my mom.
takes one to know one.
well, thank
It's
you. Shout out to Karen.
right.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes.
I appreciate that compliment.
Capricorn Karen.
That's right. I
Um,
stand
Capricorn
Capricorn
Karen.
queen.
but what I would also say about your North Node in Leo, it's also in the eighth house. And your best, you need to strike out on your own in the most creative endeavor and be in the spotlight for that. And Cassie and I know your creative talents. So that is
Well, some
what,
of
well, some
I
of us know
don't want to
others.
challenge you to make your own cool witch show where you're the star, but honestly, that would work for you. I want you to stay and be a producer on our show.
Yeah.
But again, with the eighth house orientation of that Libra or that Leo, excuse me, North Node, it portends again with all of that 10th through 12th house spiritual energy you've got going for you, that you would be adept at working with occult matters
Yeah.
and spirituality, and
You have to
you could very much find fame doing
and,
that.
and taking personal risks in those things. And
Mm-hmm.
with the eighth house, it's all about intimacy and relationships. So really learning how to shine individually, but within your relationship.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I like
So we have a little game for you.
Okay.
Coral did not know. She was not prepared. We kind of
Nope.
sprung this on her.
We did.
I have questions.
Oh,
you
wait.
have a question?
Yeah, let's
Okay.
use
No,
the time. Let's keep talking.
you guys actually, I was gonna ask about my North Node in the eighth house, but you covered that. In this second house, possessions, what does that mean?
So it's like the thing, second house is normally ruled by Taurus. And Taurus is material values, what we value, what we
home.
love, things like that. So they're very much like what you possess. It can be material things, but it also can be intrinsically, internally value. So for you to have Capricorn, I think, in that house, and you have Mars in your second house, you ain't gonna be poor. That's I mean, that's for sure. But and Mars has been in Capricorn, and so that's been a really good steady work for.
She also has her moon in Aquarius in the second house too. So you have Aquarius and Capricorn in the second house.
I have it in the third.
Oh.
I have her moon in the third.
Interesting. A discrepancy arises.
Burr, burr, burr.
My moon from my note, it's on the cusp of my second and third house.
Of course. Interesting. Well,
Either.
I mean, this is a point of contention in astrology in general. So
It's in Aquarius, though, for sure.
yeah.
Oh,
and
it
if
is.
you did the house system, where you didn't consider that two signs can overlap the same house. Some astrologers basically round the
Just
houses,
move
if
it,
that
yeah.
makes sense. Today and I don't usually abide that. So
No.
I think this just must be a discrepancy in, I probably wrote it down wrong or entered in the time incorrectly.
And, Coral is also born towards the end of the Sagittarius season. So your chart kind of does one of these things. You know what I mean? So it's not like if you were born maybe early December or something like that, it might look different. But I think having Mars in Capricorn is a pretty strong placement. Just to give you the drive. Mars is a really aggressive, it's ruled by Aries, so it's a very aggressive one, but to have it in something as constrained as Capricorn tempers your aggression when it comes to being frivolous in your values and money.
Yeah.
It definitely probably puts a more practical spin on those types of things. And anything that you want to take action on, it's usually very planned out. Very planned out.
We've
I
seen
like
her
to make
spreadsheets.
lists. I
Yeah,
make
we've
spreadsheets.
we've seen the things.
So
Yeah.
it's just that, I mean, again, you kind of are a little lucky charm without even knowing it. And, you know, you just never know, even any hardships that you've gone through growing up as a child, you know, you just never know like how that is going to develop over time. And as you've gotten older, I hope life has gotten easier.
Easier than things that have happened. Yeah.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
Easier because, you know,
Yeah.
easier to manage because even as a child, you had so much energy of spirituality and self that to have to harness that and not be able to be an adult enough to like engage and verbalize where you needed boundaries. And now you know,
Yeah.
as soon as you were able to be like, no, this ain't gonna work for me,
Yeah.
you stuck by that. And so like, you know, something else in your chart could have been way off and you could have been stuck not being able to, and like Cassie said, lose yourself and other people and like lose boundaries. I think that's what you said with the Neptune, lose
Yeah.
boundaries or something like that. So
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Harness the light side, not the shadow.
Absolutely.
just
All
know
right,
that the
game
shadow's there.
on.
Game on. You ready?
Game on. What are we doing?
Okay, go for it, Cass.
Okay, so this is going to be a lightning round. So as you mentioned, Coral
Yes.
is a Sagittarius. She's all about higher learning. She's been learning a bunch about astrology, hanging out with us cosmic broads. And so we're going to give you 10 seconds. I've got a timer here.
Yup.
And we're going to give you the modality and the element, and you have to name the sign. So I am going to let Tanae, excuse
Can
me.
I cheat?
No.
You can't
I have
cheat.
that
Are
written
you
down right
cheating?
here.
What do you need to cheat?
No.
Cassie,
Don't
I mean,
cheat.
Coral, you don't
I won't.
have to
I covered
cheat.
it up. I covered it up.
You don't have to cheat.
Cover
We're
it up.
literally going to say
I can't
it,
see that
and you're
far
gonna
away
know.
anyway.
Yeah, you don't have your readers on.
Okay, so wait, did you, not readers. Did you say I was going to start?
Yes, you go
Okay.
first.
Okay, so
Okay, ready?
you tell me when you're ready.
Go.
Cardinal Earth.
Capricorn.
Yes.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me restart the timer. All right. Okay. Next one. Mutable air.
Libra.
Gemini.
Gemini. You're opposite, girl.
Okay.
Oh.
All right, ready?
Oh wait, so opposites are the same.
Wait. Okay.
Yes, opposites are the same modality, not the same element.
Okay.
Next for you, I have fixed water.
Scorpio.
Yeah, you got it.
Good job. Yes. Good job. Good job.
Right at the buzzer. Okay.
Right. Yes. Look at that. See? Look. Continue, Cass. Your turn.
All right. Fixed fire.
Leo?
Yes. Look at you. Go ahead, girl. Okay,
right.
ready?
I'm excited.
Okay. Mutable earth.
It's not even possible.
It is if you're a Virgo. Okay, last one is going to be cardinal air.
Who's the other air sign?
Your sun is a
Libra.
Yeah, you already said it for something else. Coral, you win.
You win because you win.
I win.
There's no one to compete
win.
with except
You
you,
win.
baby.
Just your better self. That's it, you know?
Just sparkle, baby. Just sparkle.
I also just want to quickly note that you do have quite a lot of masculine air energy in your chart.
Oh, yeah.
A good bit of fire and air, and you know you're dominated by some cardinal energy. So, you know,
Yeah,
you got to going on.
that's right. You got the spirit in you. You can do whatever you want.
Don't leave us.
Do you have her crystals and stuff for her life path?
Girl, you know I
Or her
do.
karmic path, excuse me.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it's funny because I think you told me that you sent me this, or okay, so forgive me. I'm going to tell you what the suggestion is. So the suggestion is to try to discern the underlying pattern and the challenges that confront you. Reflect on what matters most to you. What do you respect? Seek to develop maturity. And as somebody that has known you, you have done that. So I will let everybody, for everybody that know I've known you from before and to now, you have done that. Okay, so your gemstone and crystal is chalcopyrite. Chalcopyrite, is that what it's saying? Chalcopyrite.
Sounds great.
It is an extraordinarily grounding mineral that holds all color rays. This stone strengthens resolve because it reflects the knowing that all accomplishments come from committing to the power within. And you are on the way of resolve,
Ooh.
and that reflects back
Yes.
to the Leo ego energy of the power within. So,
Hell yeah.
you
Just gotta
know,
believe in myself.
Perseverance.
yeah,
Perseverance.
and persistence.
Was it persistence? Perseverance? Either way, I'm doing both.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
You just,
Yeah.
you really have to believe in yourself because you're destined to be great and succeed. Like you have the energy,
You
your chart.
already did it. Yeah.
Yeah, your chart's giving
Yay.
you that energy. So,
Awesome. Well, thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Coral, for all you do. Round of applause in the chat for Coral, for being there in the chat every week, checking on shit. We love you so much, Coral.
We
Thank
love
you
you.
for
I
stepping
love
in.
y'all. Yes, anytime. Kick me out. I love
all
you.
right. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, what a joy.
Man,
A
yeah, that was
Sagittarius.
good. Yeah,
Sweet baby.
I fox with the Sagittarius, but
Hell yeah.
air fire. You do too. We know. You can't help it now.
That's right. That's
Till
right.
death do us part, for real, for
I'm
real.
contractually obligated to
Are
fuck
you
with the
contractually or clautractually obligated?
That's right. He's contractually obligated to fuck with me, more like.
Listen, he know better. He was like, psh, jackpot, jackpot.
Yes.
Okay, so audience question, is that what we're
We
up
have
to?
an audience question from our email. Does everybody have all planets in their birth charts?
No. You have all signs in your birth chart. You don't have all planets in your birth chart. Wait, oh, maybe
Yes,
I'm
you
reading
do.
that wrong. Okay, I read that wrong. You answer the question because clearly I am not paying attention. Cassie?
This is just us gaslighting our audience, guys. No, yes, you do have all the planets in your birth chart. That is the thing you have.
Yes.
Definitely all
I'm
in your birth
sorry.
chart. Because, of course, all the planets were out there someplace in the solar
Doing
system
something.
at the time you were born. So they're all there represented. You may not have every sign represented, as you were going to say. And
Yes,
also,
I was.
you may not have planets in every house of your chart.
But
which
all
is
the planets are-
confusing.
right,
But all
but-
the planets are there. And you can tell, what energy was influencing you by if there are a lot of planets in one sign, or I'm very interested in looking at somebody's chart and seeing, are you between two impulses? Like Coral's chart was very much everything is concentrated in one spot, and it shows like she has a specialized path. She's moving in a particular direction, and once that's hammered down, it's like it's a wrap.
That's where she's going. Yeah.
Yeah. And some people have like a very balanced chart. They have energy all over, and if your chart's energy is over here or over here or over here, like it all means something different. So, yeah, all the planets are represented. They're all in different spots in everybody's chart. Everybody's chart is fascinating to look at.
It really is, because everybody's chart is different, and it's literally your imprint on the earth when you took your first breath. That's what this chart says. So, So just before we get out of here, we want to thank everybody for watching, as always. Go follow our tubers, our YouTubers. If you are not, if you don't catch it all the time, tell your friends. If you want to be on the show, again, please email the Zodiac Chatline at gmail.com. We do have some guests lined up pretty much through March. But, we always need people. So please
Yes.
reach out to us. Thank you for interacting on our social media platforms. We love that you love our reels. Cassie does a fantastic job of monitoring that. Go on the Ticker Talks because they are all the way lit too.
The
But
youths, they're out here. They're watching them.
we are trying to catch on. We are the in-between generation. We were here before the interweb, and we learned the interweb as we were growing up. I had keyboarding class. So that enjoy the new moon in the next couple days, guys. I would say tomorrow, really just kind of like refresh, reset, take your time,
Release.
clean your room is always a good thing. Wash your laundry, just things that like make you feel refreshed. We won't be able to see the moon because in the new moons you can't really see them. But later, when you can start your intentions, you can start setting your intentions on February the 1st at 12:46 a.m. All the way till 6:01 a.m. And then again on February 2nd from 6 a.m. all the way till February 3rd. So you have a couple days to kind of get it going. Before we go, I'm going to pull a card for us from The Soul's Journey by James Van Praagh.
Oof.
Yeah, right.
So Dutch.
Isn't it? Right? Like Jean-Claude.
I can't wait for you to get to watch this video today because you did a crazy thing. I don't know if everybody in the chat, anybody else watching, like saw her computer or her phone glitch out, but I definitely did from my end. I'm curious to see if it reflects back on the video.
It glitched
like,
out.
Robot kind of thing.
It's my Aquarius robot energy. It's that Uranus energy. It's like,
yep.
Really, I sound like a robot, I think, in writing and text, but like as you can see, I'm in full live and in color. Definitely not a robot.
Right. You may have just astrally projected for a quick second there.
Pretty sure that happens all the time. I do it in my sleep, but I'm the coolest bitch you'll ever meet.
Yeah. Wishing you all dream magic for this new moon and Imbolc,
Imbolc?
Yeah, I hope a goddess visits you.
You ready? I like this one, guys. We have a trust.
Ooh, okay. Let's hear it.
All right. It says, I accept that my inner voice will always guide me correctly. I'm telling you guys, if it don't feel right, that shit ain't right. Remember that. I say that all the time. All right. The earth can be a tricky place, but you have been given a tool to help you navigate through the murky waters, your intuition. You must learn to tell the difference between ego talk and soul talk, and then trust your soul. Once you get into the habit of following your intuition, you will come to practice that discernment externally. You will be able to know if a person or a situation is trustworthy. But it all begins with listening to your inner voice. Exercise it like a muscle when you determine that it is always right. That wisdom will spread out and influence everything you do. Decisions will seem easier. Your soul only wants what is best for you, and you must learn to trust it. I think that's perfect with Coral basically saying,
right?
I didn't even know what the vibes were when I was a kid, but if they were messed up, I wasn't about the vibe. So, guys, always trust yourself, trust your intuition. Your higher self has your best interest at heart. The universe conspires in your favor all the time, and the energy that you receive is the energy that you put out. So please mind your manners and mind your thoughts and mind your actions, and then it'll all kind of go together. Cassie, it's been real. I love you, girl.
Always.
We will see you guys on Thursday. And as a reminder, 10 o'clock, that's our time. Don't look for us at 11 because we won't be on it. They cut us off right before that hour hit. So at 9:59, Sundays and Thursdays, come look for us because we're going to be here.
That's right. That's right.
That's it.
We love you. Thank you for
Thank
being with
you.
us tonight.
It's all love, y'all. Bye.
Peace.